Eleanor Whitaker's hands trembled as she reached for the jar of strawberry jam on the high shelf, her frail fingers brushing against the glass just enough to send it teetering. In that split second, the world seemed to hold its breath until the jar crashed to the floor, shattering into a sticky red mess that splashed across the pristine supermarket aisle. The young cashier, a girl no older than 20 with a name tag reading Kayla, rolled her eyes and snapped. "Oh great, another old bat causing chaos. Move faster next time, Grandma, or stay home where you belong." The words hit Eleanor like a physical blow, sharper than the shards of glass at her feet. At 95, she had survived 2 world wars, buried a husband and a child, and raised generations who now called her Nana Ellie with reverence. But in this fluorescent-lit store, surrounded by indifferent shoppers who averted their eyes, she felt smaller than she ever had, her heart fracturing under the weight of casual cruelty. Eleanor stood frozen, her wrinkled face flushing with a mix of humiliation and shock. She had come to this neighborhood grocery chain, Freshmart, every week for decades, ever since it opened in her small town of Willow Creek. It was her ritual way to feel independent, to pick out treats for her great-grandchildren's visits. But today, that simple act had turned into a nightmare. Kayla didn't stop there. She huffed loudly, grabbing a mop from behind the counter and muttering under her breath about senile folks wasting everyone's time. Eleanor wanted to respond, to defend her dignity, but her voice caught in her throat, choked by tears she refused to let fall in public. As other customers whispered and stared, one kind solemn middle-aged woman with a toddler in her cart stepped forward. "That's no way to talk to anyone, especially an elder," she said firmly, helping Eleanor steady herself. But Kayla just shrugged, her face a mask of entitlement. "Whatever, she's fine. Just clean it up and go." The woman pulled out her phone, her expression hardening. "No, this isn't fine. I'm recording this." And with that, a video was born, one that would soon ripple far beyond the aisles of Freshmart. Eleanor made her way home that afternoon in a daze, her shopping bag lighter than usual, devoid of the jam she had craved. Her modest cottage on Elm Street, filled with faded photographs and knitted afghans, welcomed her like an old friend. She sank into her armchair, the one her late husband George had carved by hand, and finally allowed the tears to come. "What has the world come to?" she whispered to the empty room, her voice trembling. At her age, she had seen kindness erode over the years, but this felt personal, a stab at her very existence. Her granddaughter, Lily, arrived later that evening for their weekly tea. Lily was 32, a busy nurse with 2 kids of her own, but she never missed checking on Nana Ellie. Sensing something amiss, Lily pressed gently until the story spilled out. Eleanor's eyes welled up again as she recounted the insult, her hands clasping a handkerchief embroidered with her initials. Lily's face darkened with anger. "That's unacceptable, Nana. We can't let this slide." She hugged Eleanor tightly, feeling the fragility of her bones, and vowed silently to make it right. Unbeknownst to them, the video from the store had already been uploaded to social media by the helpful stranger. Titled "Elder Abuse in Freshmart, Shame on You." It showed Kayla's rude outburst in full, with Eleanor's pained expression captured heartbreakingly. By nightfall, it had garnered hundreds of views, shares, and comments decrying the lack of respect for the elderly. "This breaks my heart," one user wrote. "Our grandparents built this world, treat them better." Another added, "Boycott Freshmart until they apologize." The next morning, Eleanor woke to the sound of her phone ringing incessantly, calls from family members who had seen the video. Her son, Thomas, now 70 and retired, drove over immediately, his face etched with worry. "Mom, are you okay? I saw what happened." He enveloped her in a bear hug, his voice thick with emotion. Thomas had always been her protector, even as a boy, and seeing his mother hurt ignited a fire in him. Together with Lily, they discussed what to do. "We should contact the store manager," Thomas suggested. But Lily shook her head. "It's gone viral now. Let's see if they reach out first." As the day progressed, the video exploded online, reaching thousands. News outlets picked it up, framing it as a symbol of societal neglect toward the aging population. Eleanor, reluctant at first, agreed to a brief interview with a local reporter over the phone. "I just wanted some jam," she said softly, her words carrying the weight of a lifetime. "But more than that, I wanted to be treated like a person." Her vulnerability touched hearts, amplifying the outcry. Meanwhile, at Freshmart's corporate headquarters in the bustling city 2 hours away, the PR team was in panic mode. Alerts flooded their inboxes about the viral video, with hashtags like Respect Elders and Boycott Freshmart trending. The CEO, Marcus Hale, a sharp-dressed 45-year-old known for his no-nonsense approach, stormed into the boardroom. "What the hell is this?" he demanded, playing the video on the big screen. Watching Eleanor's face crumple under the insult, even Marcus felt a pang reminding him of his own grandmother, who had passed away alone in a nursing home years ago. Marcus had built Freshmart from a single store to a national chain through sheer determination, but scandals like this could undo it all. "Get me the details on this woman," he ordered, "and fire that cashier immediately." But as he delved deeper, reading comments and articles, something shifted. This wasn't just damage control, it was a wake-up call. Marcus recalled his roots growing up poor, watching his grandmother scrape by with dignity despite hardships. "We're going beyond an apology," he declared. "I'm handling this personally." Back in Willow Creek, Eleanor tried to resume her routine, but the incident lingered like a shadow. Neighbors stopped by with flowers and casseroles, sharing their own stories of ageism. One elderly gentleman, Mr. Jenkins from down the street, confessed, "It happened to me too, Ellie. But seeing you stand up well, it gives us hope." Their conversations stirred a sense of community, reminding Eleanor that she wasn't alone. Lily, ever proactive, started an online petition demanding better training for store employees on elder respect. It quickly amassed signatures, turning the personal slight into a movement. Eleanor marveled at her granddaughter's energy, feeling a swell of pride amid the pain. "You've always been my fighter, Lily," she said, squeezing her hand. As the sun set on the third day, Eleanor's phone rang again, this time from an unknown number. It was the store manager, profusely apologizing and offering gift cards. But Eleanor, with quiet resolve, said, "It's not about the money. It's about kindness." Little did she know, bigger things were in motion. That evening, Marcus Hale boarded a private jet to Willow Creek, his mind racing with plans. He hadn't visited a small-town store in years, too buried in board meetings and expansions. But this felt right necessary. As the plane descended, he gazed out at the twinkling lights below, wondering about the woman whose story had pierced his armored exterior. Eleanor retired to bed that night, her heart heavy yet hopeful. Dreams of her youth flooded in dancing with George under starlit skies, raising children through tough times. She whispered a prayer for healing, not just for herself, but for a world that seemed to have forgotten the value of its elders. The following morning brought unexpected visitors. A sleek black car pulled up to Eleanor's cottage, drawing curious glances from neighbors. Out stepped Marcus Hale, impeccably suited, carrying a bouquet of roses and a basket of gourmet jams. Thomas and Lily, who had been forewarned by a corporate call, flanked Eleanor as she opened the door. "Mrs. Whitaker," Marcus began, his voice steady but sincere. "I'm Marcus Hale, CEO of Freshmart. I've come to apologize personally for what happened. It was inexcusable, and I'm deeply sorry." Eleanor's eyes widened, but she stood tall, inviting him in. As they sat in her cozy living room, surrounded by family heirlooms, Marcus shared his story, how his grandmother's struggles had inspired him, yet he'd lost sight of that in his success. "You've reminded me all of us what truly matters," he said, his eyes misting. In that moment, forgiveness bloomed. Eleanor nodded, her voice soft. "We all make mistakes, young man. But owning them, that's what builds character." Their conversation stretched into the afternoon, bridging generations. Marcus promised company-wide changes, sensitivity training, elder discount days, and a foundation in Eleanor's name for senior support. As he left, hugging her gently, the weight lifted from Eleanor's shoulders. But the story didn't end there. In the weeks that followed, Eleanor's tale inspired nationwide discussions on aging with grace. She became a quiet advocate, speaking at local events, her words echoing the human spirit's resilience. And so, at 95, Eleanor Whitaker found not just an apology, but a renewed purpose, proving that one voice, no matter how frail, can echo through the ages. Eleanor's life, once a quiet tapestry of memories, now pulsed with unexpected energy in the wake of Marcus Hale's visit. The CEO's personal apology had been more than words. It was a catalyst, sparking changes that rippled through Freshmart and beyond. But as the initial media frenzy subsided, Eleanor grappled with the spotlight, her humble cottage suddenly a hub for well-wishers and reporters seeking her wisdom. One crisp autumn morning, as leaves danced outside her window, Eleanor sipped her tea and reflected on the twist of fate. Who would have thought an old woman's mishap could stir such a storm? She murmured to herself. Lily, popping in with fresh-baked goods, laughed warmly. Nana, you're a force. But are you okay with all this attention? Eleanor nodded, though a flicker of doubt crossed her eyes. At her age, peace was precious, and the world moved too fast. Meanwhile, at Freshmart headquarters, Marcus immersed himself in reforms. He mandated empathy workshops for all employees, drawing from Eleanor's story. Respect isn't optional, he told his team. It's our foundation. Yet, amid the bustle, Marcus felt a personal pull. He began writing letters to Eleanor, sharing updates and seeking her advice. Her responses, handwritten in elegant script, became his touchstone reminders of humility in a corporate world. Back in Willow Creek, an unexpected visitor arrived one afternoon. It was Kayla, the former cashier, her face pale and contrite. Fired immediately after the incident, she had spent weeks reflecting, prompted by the viral backlash. Mrs. Whitaker, she said at the door, voice shaking, I was wrong. So wrong. Can we talk? Eleanor, ever gracious, invited her in, sensing the girl's turmoil. As they sat, Kayla poured out her story, a single mother struggling with 2 jobs, overwhelmed by stress that boiled over that fateful day. I took it out on you, and that's unforgivable, she admitted, tears streaming. Eleanor listened, her heart softening. This was the twist she hadn't anticipated, the offender becoming human, vulnerable. Child, we've all lashed out in pain, Eleanor said gently. Forgiveness starts with understanding. Their conversation turned cathartic. Kayla shared dreams deferred by hardship, while Eleanor recounted her own youthful struggles during the Great Depression. Bonds formed over shared tea, and by the end, Kayla vowed to change. I'll volunteer at the senior center, she promised. Eleanor smiled, feeling a surge of compassion. This encounter shifted her perspective from victim to mentor, emphasizing redemption's power. News of their reconciliation spread quietly, adding depth to the narrative. Lily, witnessing it, marveled at her grandmother's grace. You turned hurt into healing, Nana. But Eleanor waved it off. Life's too short for grudges. Besides, she reminded me of myself at that age, lost, but full of potential. As winter approached, Eleanor received an invitation from Marcus to speak at Freshmart's annual conference. Nervous yet excited, she prepared with family help. Thomas drove her to the city, where skyscrapers loomed like giants. The event hall buzzed with executives, but when Eleanor took the stage, silence fell. Her voice, though soft, carried authority. Age doesn't diminish worth, she said, eyes shining. It enriches it. Treat elders not as burdens, but as treasures. The applause was thunderous, Marcus beaming from the front row. Afterward, he introduced her to board members, who pledged support for senior initiatives. But the real magic happened backstage, where employees shared personal stories inspired by her. One young manager confessed, My grandpa lives alone, I call him more now. Thanks to you. Returning home, Eleanor felt invigorated, yet weary. The journey had stirred old memories, George's laughter, children's first steps. She spent evenings journaling, capturing lessons for her great-grandchildren. Kindness is a chain, she wrote. One link strengthens all. But not all was smooth. A skeptical reporter questioned the apology's sincerity, calling it PR spin. Eleanor addressed it in a follow-up interview. Actions speak louder. See the changes, not the doubts. Her poise quelled the noise, reinforcing her role as a beacon. Kayla, true to her word, began volunteering, often visiting Eleanor. Their friendship blossomed, bridging generations. One day, Kayla brought her toddler son, who toddled into Eleanor's arms. This is what matters, Eleanor whispered, rocking him. The boy's innocent gaze mirrored the hope she now embodied. Marcus visited Willow Creek again, this time casually, sharing a meal at Eleanor's table. Conversations flowed from business ethics to life's simple joys. You've taught me more than any MBA, he admitted. Eleanor chuckled. And you've shown that power can serve good. As snow blanketed the town, Eleanor's story evolved into a book deal a memoir of resilience. Lily helped type drafts, cherishing the bonding time. Through it all, Eleanor marveled at the twists, an insult leading to advocacy, a foe becoming a friend. Yet, in quiet moments, she missed the anonymity of before. Fame is fleeting, she told Thomas. Family endures. He nodded, grateful for her enduring spirit. The holidays brought joy, with great-grandchildren filling the cottage. Eleanor watched them play, her heart full. The incident, once a wound, now a scar of strength. But deeper changes brewed. Marcus proposed a partnership, Eleanor as ambassador for elder programs. She accepted, eager to amplify voices like hers. As the new year dawned, Eleanor stood at her window, watching dawn break. Life surprises at every turn, she mused. And with that, her journey continued, weaving threads of humanity into a tapestry of change. With the memoir underway, Eleanor's days filled with purpose, but the emotional toll lingered subtly. Writing unearthed buried pains, losses that time had softened but not erased. One evening, as she penned a chapter on forgiveness, a knock echoed. It was Mr. Jenkins, the neighbor, bearing a pie and a confession. "Ellie, your story hit home. My wife passed last year, and I've been isolating. Can I join your cause?" This unexpected ally became a twist in her narrative. Mr. Jenkins, 82 and a retired veteran, brought military precision to their efforts. Together, they organized local workshops on intergenerational respect, drawing crowds from Willow Creek. His gruff exterior hid a poet's soul. He shared verses about aging's grace, adding poetic depth to Eleanor's message. "You've given me a second wind," he told her, eyes twinkling. Lily noticed the spark. "Nana, he's sweet on you." Eleanor blushed, dismissing it. "Nonsense at our age, it's companionship." But Mr. Jenkins's presence infused warmth, reminding her that connection defies calendars. Meanwhile, Marcus faced corporate pushback. Some executives grumbled about costs for new programs. In a tense meeting, he invoked Eleanor's words, "Profit without heart is hollow." Winning them over, he launched Ellie's Elders Fund, aiding seniors nationwide. Donations poured in, fueled by her story's virality. Kayla thrived too, excelling in a new job at the senior center. She credited Eleanor. "You saw potential when I didn't." Their bond deepened. Kayla confided fears of failing as a mom. Eleanor offered timeless advice. "Love covers mistakes. Keep trying." A national TV appearance loomed for Eleanor, a morning show segment on ageism. Nervous, she practiced with family. Thomas coached her, pride swelling. "Mom, you're a natural." The studio lights dazzled, but Eleanor's authenticity shone. "Society discards the old like yesterday's news," she said passionately. "But we hold history's keys, unlock them with kindness." Viewers responded overwhelmingly, sharing stories online. One letter touched Eleanor deeply, from a teen who vowed to visit grandparents more. "Your words changed me," it read. Back home, Mr. Jenkins proposed a walk in the park. Amid blooming flowers, he shared his war tales, losses that mirrored hers. "We've both fought battles," he said. Eleanor opened up about George, tears mingling with laughter. This budding friendship added layers to her healing, emphasizing that life's twists can bring joy amid sorrow. The memoir's first draft complete, Eleanor celebrated with a family dinner. Great-grandchildren clamored for stories, hanging on her every word. Lily toasted, "To Nana, the heart of us all." Emotion choked Eleanor. She felt George's spirit near. But challenges arose. A health scare, a dizzy spell landed her in the hospital briefly. Doctors advised rest, but Eleanor quipped, "I've rested enough lifetimes." Marcus called, concerned, "Take it easy, we need you." His worry revealed their growing friendship. Recovering, Eleanor reflected on vulnerability. "Aging strips illusions," she wrote. Mr. Jenkins visited daily, reading to her. His steadfastness moved her. Perhaps love bloomed late. As spring unfolded, the book launch neared. Publishers raved. It's inspiring raw humanity. Eleanor dedicated it to those insulted but unbroken. Kayla organized a community reading, where elders shared experiences. The event buzzed with emotion, forging bonds. Marcus attended, surprising Eleanor with a check for her fund. "Your impact is immeasurable," he said. Humbled, she replied, "It's ours, collective kindness." A quiet evening followed. Eleanor and Mr. Jenkins on the porch. Life's full of surprises, she said. He took her hand. And you're the best one. Her journey, from insult to influence, underscored resilience's power. Yet, more awaited twists in fate's design. The book launch arrived like a whirlwind, transforming Willow Creek's community hall into a vibrant celebration. Eleanor, dressed in her finest pearl necklace gift from George, stood at the podium, her voice steady despite the butterflies. "This isn't just my story," she began, eyes scanning the crowd of family, friends, and strangers. "It's our reminder that dignity knows no age." Applause erupted, but the true reward was the tears in attendees' eyes, mirroring her own journey's emotional peaks. Post-launch, signings stretched long, each interaction a gem. A young woman shared, "My grandma felt invisible until your book." Eleanor hugged her. "Tell her she's seen." Mr. Jenkins hovered protectively, his presence a comforting anchor. Later, over cake, he whispered, "Proud of you, Ellie." Their connection, once a surprise, now felt inevitably a late bloom in life's garden. Marcus flew in for the event, announcing expansions to Ellie's Elders Fund, scholarships for elder care workers, inspired by Kayla's turnaround. "You've revolutionized us," he told Eleanor privately. She smiled. "No, we've reminded each other of what's right." But fame brought shadows. Tabloids twisted details, claiming the apology was staged. Eleanor addressed it calmly in an op-ed. "Truth endures scrutiny. Focus on change, not cynicism." Her words quelled doubts, strengthening her resolve. Summer brought travel. Eleanor spoke at conferences, Thomas by her side. In one city, she met a group of seniors advocating for rights. Their energy invigorated her. "We're not fading, we're re-fighting." A twist emerged. Among them was Marcus's long-lost aunt, estranged for years. Reunited through Eleanor's event, they embraced tearfully. "You bridged our gap," Marcus said gratefully. Kayla's life flourished. She pursued education, babysitting Eleanor's great-grandkids occasionally. "Your family now," Eleanor declared. The boys' laughter filled the cottage, echoing joys of yesteryears. As fall returned, Eleanor faced another health dip, a mild stroke. Hospitalized, she pondered mortality. Visitors flooded, Lily with soups, Mr. Jenkins with flowers, Marcus with calls. "You've touched so many," Lily said, holding her hand. Recovering slowly, Eleanor found strength in their love. Discharged, she resumed writing a sequel on community healing. Mr. Jenkins assisted, their collaboration deepening affection. One starry night, he confessed, "Ellie, I love you." At 95, her heart fluttered. "And I you, dear friend." Their kiss, gentle and true, sealed a chapter unforeseen. The holidays glowed brighter. Family gathered around Eleanor the matriarch, whose insult sparked transformation. Toasts honored her. To resilience and redemption. New Year's Eve, Eleanor reflected, from shattered jam to shattered barriers. Life wove beauty from brokenness. "Humanity prevails," she whispered. And as confetti fell, her story rich with K-drama, twists, and heart promised more pages yet unwritten.